So welcome everyone, I'm Madals, Hero Highlight Time, and today I'm looking at Sergeant Hammer. Of course, Sergeant Hammer is female, which a lot of people weren't expecting, and it is a siege tank. Sergeant Bama the Hammer Kolaski has served some of the toughest tours around the Kapula sector. The thunderous roar of her siege tank's shock cannon strikes fear right into the heart of the toughest warriors, including some of her allies. The siege tank model itself looks really awesome. This is of course from the StarCraft 2 universe. The siege tank itself, absolutely amazing. Starting abilities are Siege Mode, increases damage to minions and structures. Range and deals splash damage, but it cannot move. 100 caliber blast, knockback and damage enemies. Spider mines, creates mines that slow and damage enemies on contact. Heroic abilities, napalm strike, long range volley that deals damage to enemies in an area. And blunt force gun, fires a rocket with unlimited range that damages all enemies it passes through. Her combat trait is artillery, and deals more damage to enemies that are far away. Only the one skin at the moment for Sergeant Hammer comes in the blue, black and red variants. Talents, Regeneration Master, which means that every 3 regeneration globes permanently gives you 3 additional health per second, and it stacks. Advanced Artillery is a trait, increases the damage bonus to enemies over 4.5 distance away by 10%. Lethal Blast increases the damage 100 caliber blast does by 25%. Bribe, killing an enemy minion gains a stack of bribe, and at 40 stacks you can activate it to capture target mercenary camps. Focused Attack, every 5 seconds your next basic attack deals 30% additional damage. Vampiric Assault, basic attacks heal you for 15% of the damage done. Increased Range increases Sergeant Hammer's base range by +1. And Further Push doubles the distance enemies are knocked back. Maelstrom Rounds is a trait and increases the damage bonus to enemies over 4.5 distance away by 25%. Have Another Mine, arm 1 additional mine. 101 caliber blast, create a wall of debris that blocks pathing for 4 seconds. And First Aid restores 20% of the max health over 4 seconds. Level 10 of the 2 ultimates, Blunt Force Gun and Napalm Strike. Level 13, Giant Killer, basic attacks against enemy heroes deal 1.5% of the target's max health in damage. Crucio X2 Cannon, Sergeant Hammer gains +2 basic attack range and +2 vision radius. Hover Siege Mode, Siege Mode allows slow movement. Fortified Position, Siege Mode prevents displacement effect. Entering Siege Mode grants 2 stacks of block, each absorbing 50% of the damage done on an incoming blast. Executioner, basic attacks deal additional damage against slowed, root or stunned targets. Minefield increases the number of mines spawned by 2. Slowing Mines, the slow caused by spider mines is increased to 40%. And Stone Skin, activate to gain 30% of your max health and shields for 5 seconds. Level 20, Fury of the Storm, basic attacks bounce twice to nearby enemies for 50% damage. Resurgence of the Storm, upon dying, revive back at your altar after 5 seconds. This can occur once every 120 seconds. Orbital BFG, Blunt Force Gun's missile orbits the planet every 5 seconds, continuously travelling at its current angle. Recasting Blunt Force Gun again prevents existing missiles from starting new orbits. Advanced Lava Strike, Napalm Strike's range is increased by 10 and its impact damage does 50 additional damage. So let's test out Sergeant Hammer in game and see how it all works. So we'll start with Blunt Force Gun and see how that goes. Sergeant Hammer of course has got a very large range. I'll show you quite a few of the abilities when we get over. Artillery of course deals 40% bonus damage to enemies over 4.5 distance away. Incredibly powerful. So firstly, the most important thing, sieging up. Boost the range out to maximum range. Incredibly important. 100 caliber blast deals 180 damage and knocks back anything nearby. Spider mines can be dropped out pretty much wherever you want them. They also unburrow and run a little way, which is always really cool. And then Blunt Force Gun deals 150 damage to enemies in its path, and it reveals as it travels. It's worth noting that it's got pretty much an infinite range, or so it seems. I'm not sure if it actually goes through everything. I think it is unstoppable. Napalm Strike doesn't have quite such a long range. Deals 200 damage on impact and additional 70 damage per second. As you can see, a nice little hit there, and actually has a relatively quick cooldown of only 6 seconds. So let's toggle some minions out. We're going to show how you can use Sergeant Hammer. So, siege up in a bush, and damage can start being done very quickly. Starts dealing splash damage as well. Being further away does more damage. Those shots dealing quite a nice amount. Spider mines coming down. They instantly unburrow. Start trying to chase down a bit more of the distance. Brave move there by Arthas. Should just about get away for the moment. But maybe not for so long. Gets killed nice and quick. And this is really where we can see the range distance. You can siege up out here and actually start being able to shoot against a lot of these turrets. Spider mines can start coming down. Napalm strikes can keep coming down as well. No minimum target range like there is in StarCraft 2, which personally I think is quite a good thing. Quickly blasting everything back nicely. But I'm out of turret range, so Sergeant Hammer's key benefit is that you can slowly start working away at turrets from a long way away and safety. So that's Sergeant Hammer. As you can see, the model in game is just a really awesome looking siege tank. And I don't believe there is going to be a dance. I take it back, there is a dance. That tank has got some moves. Thrusters is instead of a mount. Just means the thrusters come out and you can start boosting around. They only last for 4 seconds though, so it's not continual like a mount is. That's Sergeant Hammer. I hope you all enjoyed this hero highlight. If you're watching on YouTube, like the video, leave me a comment what you think of Sergeant Hammer, and of course subscribe and check out the other hero highlights. If you're on stream, stay tuned.